Okay, my American history students, this is your syllabus or course of study for the 2020 to 2021 school year. Title of course, my name at the top. My name is Mr. Lacasco, of course. Please put a Mr. in front of my name when you refer to me. Email. So this is contact information that you can use as much as you want. You can email me as much as you want. Of course, I can't always respond to emails right away. I do check both of these quite frequently across the day. There are times, of course, that I'm doing other things, fulfilling obligations in my life uh, related to school or otherwise, so I can't always respond to emails right away, but you will get a response. If you send an email after 9 p.m., please know that you will not get a response to that email until the following day. You can send an email after 9 p.m. if you need to, but you will not get a response to that email until the following day. Google Classroom should be used to access course materials. I will have, or may still need to, at this point I probably have, sent an invitation to you through your email. The class code is provided there if you need to access it. I would recommend that you share that with your parents so that they can access that as well and be informed on course materials and help you with them. You do have a textbook for this course. It is digital. Here's the login for it. Here are the steps to the login. When you log in, I've already created your username and password. Your username and password should be in the following format. Now, you'll be using your name, of course. Okay, you'll be using your own name, but it'll be the capital letter of your first name, and then last name, all in small letters for your username. Your password will be your last name, the first letter capitalized, and then it will end in the initial of your first name capitalized. So this is how you log in to your digital textbook. Once you're in there, click Discovery to access textbook material. Make sure you are in this textbook, American History Reconstruction to the Present, and I will have assigned you a module to work on. You may have access to a few different textbooks when you log in. This is the one you need to be in for this particular course, American History, Reconstruction to the Present. Another resource that I will use quite a bit, possibly even more than your textbook, is this one, Ohio Test Prep American History. The login for that, or the link for that, is right here. You don't need a login for this. I will put a lot of these assignments directly on Google Classroom. What this resource provides is material that prepares you for the standardized test in the spring. I'm hoping you don't have to take that test. The state of Ohio canceled that test last spring because of the pandemic, and I'm hoping because of disruptions that are currently or continuing to happen because of that pandemic, caused them to cancel state testing again, but we have not been informed of that yet. So we do need to spend some time prepping for that. And these resources are also pretty good. I really like the Khan Academy readings that are on there. They're more concise than the textbook, and the questions are more discussion based. And I want our Zoom meetings, our class virtual meetings, to be discussion based. So I may find myself using this a lot. There's also some good primary sources on there, some videos and things like that. So maybe I'll use those. We'll see as we go along, but this is a good resource. Your objectives for the course. So what are we supposed to be learning or accomplishing? Well, we want to develop a comprehensive knowledge of United States history from post-World War II through the modern era. Now that is the focus of this course. The focus of this course is actually post-World War II through the modern era. But you'll notice when we look at the course of study below, or the learning units below, that we are going to spend some time and actually through past the first quarter of the course reviewing material that you should have previously covered. And the reason for that, again, is that you may have to take a standardized test in the spring. So I think it's important we again spend some time on that material. But also, we've had so many disruptions with the pandemic. I just feel like we need to review material before we can move on. There will be key world history events incorporated into the course. This is definitely an American history course. There's not a lot of world history in it. I wish there was more because I think it's important, even though I like American history better. But We do need to at least occasionally get students to understand that global events have a strong impact upon American history, and indeed, American history is strongly connected to global events, and they influence each other, of course. So we need to spend some time on world history in here. It'd be nice if we could spend more time on world history in high school, but the test focus is American history, and so we do spend a lot of time on that. We want to develop historical analysis skills. We want to teach our students the ability to critically evaluate information and make informed decisions. And we're going to use multiple sources to do so. You're going to have to do some writing in here, paragraph in nature, 2 paragraphs in nature. I'm not going to expect you to write any major papers in here or anything like that, but there are going to be written response questions that you have to deal with really quite frequently, even if it's just a reflective writing. So expect to do some writing each week, but not large length writings in here. 2 to 3 paragraphs, probably at the most, will be the writing that will be the most lengthy for you. We're going to use multiple sources of technology, of course, and we have to. We have to learn technologies. I'm learning technologies as we do this virtual stuff, and we may make some mistakes along the way, but that's okay. We'll figure it out together. Now, the key objective. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put an asterisk by this. To me, the key objective of this course is to use historical content in support of informed opinions, arguments, and thesis statements. This is the key objective of the course, at least from my perspective. It's going to be difficult for you to remember going forward with your life all the history we're studying here. I have to review it every year. And I mean, I know a lot of it, of course, because I've been doing it for a long time, but there's still stuff I have to review and read about again every year. It's hard to maintain information if you're not constantly exposed to it. But if we can give you a skill, if we can teach you the importance of having informed opinions, arguments, and thesis statements. Thesis statement is a central argument, a written central argument. If we can teach you to be able to support your arguments, you'll be that much better off in terms of the challenges you face in life. You're going to have to go to a job interview someday and sell yourself to your interviewer. You're going to have to be informed as to what you can do. This is an important skill to be able to support your arguments. There are a lot of people with opinions these days. Unfortunately, a lot of them are not well supported. We don't want our students to be that way. We want them to have informed opinions, not only to improve their situation, but to improve the situation of our society as well. So this is a very important objective. This is a skill you can take with you beyond any study of history. And then, of course, if we do have a test in the spring, you're going to have to take that, and we want to make sure you're prepared for that. I'm hoping we don't. I would rather just keep doing the learning activities that I enjoy doing with kids every day. But we have to at least prepare a little bit to make sure. So hopefully we'll be ready for that if they do decide to give us a test. This is your text again. Okay, I've assigned you accounts already. If you're wondering what you're going to be tested on, I mean, good news, as long as we're virtual, your test will probably be open note, open book. I really don't know how I have another way to do it right now. Now, if I come up with another way to do it, I will. But as long as we're virtual, you're still going to have some assessments. You're still going to have some tests. Maybe we'll use Procore, a new testing system that the school has just provided. I might use that. Last year I used quizzes, and then I had kids do a couple of written responses. So that could happen. You can use your notes. You can use the lecture notes I provide. You can use the sources I provide. You really shouldn't use Google. Of course, you're going to have to come up with your own answers if they're written, and form your own opinions, which makes it difficult to cheat. Okay, but these are the things that we'll be doing. Now, I'm hoping we can get creative with technology, even if we're virtual, and I'm really hoping that we have some class discussions. We'll try and do some writings, even if they're short ones, during some of the class sessions or the remediation sessions, and I can help you with those. You're going to have chapter terms and questions, so maybe kind of the typical assessment type stuff, but some of it will be creative. Some of it will be creative. I'll see what I can come up with throughout the course. Some of it may involve choice, you doing what you want to do to prove you learned something. We'll see what I can come up with as we go forward. I did put a weekly format on here. I don't like to say, hey, on Monday we do this, Tuesday we do that, Wednesday. I don't like to have the exact same schedule every week. I know some teachers do that, and maybe I should, but I just like to be more flexible. There is a little bit of a rhythm to the course, meaning you're probably going to have one lecture a week. Uh, and then we'll have, of course, class discussions. We're going to try and look at least one primary source a week. You will have to do some research activities in which you look up stuff and really determine your own sources. There are going to be times you're going to look up stuff and use your own sources. Um, and of course, the weekly format will be adjusted during exam weeks. If there's a week that we have a test, then of course we have to adjust that weekly format. So, but expect about one lecture a week. Like really your lecture for this week is me just going over these first day documents and hoping that you're listening to them and getting your information out of it. During the virtual part of the course, I will be recording and posting my lectures because I want our half-hour class sessions, which isn't a lot of time. It's going to go fast. Our half-hour class sessions to be more discussion based. I'm not going to spend those just lecturing you. I'm going to record my lectures. They'll be 20 to 30 minutes in length. You'll be expected to listen to those and comment on those or address a key question about those. Okay? All right, so here's the material that we're covering. You can see the amount of review that I have planned, at least currently. I am looking into some options to maybe shorten those up, but we'll see. If we can keep pace here, we're still in great shape to spend a lot of time on pretty recent American history. Oop, you guys don't have to do a research paper. I'll leave that right now. Don't panic. I used to have Social Studies 2 kids do a small paper. We're not going to do that this year. So get that off there. But here's the review material. Okay, here's your midterm. If we do a midterm that could just be all multiple choice, we'll see. I may put a couple written responses on there. In the past, your midterms have been all multiple choice simply because I have a lot of writing to grade at the end of the semester, not necessarily for this class, but the other two classes I teach. So sometimes, most years, this is just all multiple choice. And you can see the final exam here. And you can see what we cover. If you notice, I do have one review unit devoted entirely to World War II because Miss Edmondson and my other Social Studies 1 teachers in the building informed me that they didn't feel like they could spend a lot of time on that last year with the pandemic. So we want to definitely spend some time on World War II, and then we get into the Cold War and up. Okay? All right, please let me know if you have any questions.